Good evening, you're watching India First. I'm Gaurav Sawant. With India having successfully bombed 13 Pakistan Air Force bases and radar stations during Operation Sindoor, the focus now shifts to that raging battle within. The battle between the Congress and the BJP on the ceasefire, the alleged US intervention, and India's foreign policy, with the Congress saying it's collapsed. The Congress has launched a swarm drone of attacks of questions on the BJP. The ruling party is countering with its rapid fire responses. And that is our top focus story on this special broadcast.
Political fireworks over Operation Sindoor. Rahul takes a swipe at minister again. BJP hits back, reminds of 1991 Pakistan Pact.
आपने तो हाथ काट के लिख दिया कि हमारी आर्मी कहाँ डिप्लॉय होगी, आपकी नेवी कहाँ डिप्लॉय होगी, आपका एयरफोर्स कैसे फंक्शन करेगा, वो कैसे एक्सरसाइज करेगा। तो ये सारी बातें क्या देशद्रोह नहीं है? कांग्रेस ने वोट बैंक की पॉलिटिक्स के लिए देश के साथ धोखा नहीं किया।
India's foreign policy on line of fire. Criticism valid or anti-national? Big focus on India First.
Leader of opposition Rahul Gandhi today fired a fresh salvo at the External Affairs Minister, asking why was India being hyphenated with Pakistan again. He also asked why no country backed India in condemning Pakistan and who asked Trump to mediate between India and Pakistan. The sting was in the tail, with the senior Congress leader claiming India's foreign policy had collapsed. The BJP hit right back, accusing the Congress of speaking Pakistan's language and calling Rahul Gandhi Nishane Pakistan. The gloves are clearly off, with India having the edge in the war on terror on Pakistan. It's that internal war that's now escalating.
The political fireworks between Modi government and the Congress party over Operation Sindoor continue to explode. One of the big flashpoints continues to be between External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar and Rahul Gandhi. In a fresh escalation, the leader of opposition in Lok Sabha hit out at the minister, posing three questions. Why has India been hyphenated with Pakistan? Why did not a single country back us in condemning Pakistan? Who asked Trump to mediate between India and Pakistan? The BJP, which has been accusing Rahul Gandhi of pushing Pakistan's propaganda, responded by reminding the Congress of a 1991 pact with Pakistan that states that the two countries will exchange information about any attack or army movement.
ये 1991 का डॉक्यूमेंट है कि 1947 से पाकिस्तान को हम आतंकी राष्ट्र मानते हैं। उसके बाद जो आप कंसेशन देते रहे, 1950 में नेहरू लियाकत समझौता हो, 1960 का सिंधु जल समझौता हुआ, 1975 का शिमला एग्रीमेंट हुआ, और उसके बाद 1991 में आपने तो हाथ काट के लिख दिया कि हमारी आर्मी कहाँ डिप्लॉय होगी, आपकी नेवी कहाँ डिप्लॉय होगी, आपका एयरफोर्स कैसे फंक्शन करेगा, वो कैसे एक्सरसाइज करेगा। तो ये सारी बातें क्या देशद्रोह नहीं है? भारत सरकार को इसके ऊपर जो है देशद्रोह का मुकदमा चालू करना चाहिए।
ये शायद अप्रैल 1991 का साइन किया हुआ अग्रीमेंट है। ये अग्रीमेंट पीस टाइम का है। पीस टाइम में गलतफहमी ना हो दो देशों की सेनाओं के बीच में, थल सेना, वायु सेना, जल सेना मूवमेंट से, उसके बारे में है। सर्वप्रथम जो राहुल गांधी जी कह रहे थे वही सच है। जयशंकर जी ने इन्फॉर्म किया पाकिस्तान को और उसकी पुष्टि खुद बीजेपी कर रही है। जिस अग्रीमेंट का वो हवाला दे रही है वो पीस टाइम का अग्रीमेंट है। जयशंकर जी ने जब वॉर लाइक सिचुएशन थी तब इन्फॉर्म किया था।
Rajya Sabha Deputy Chairman Harivansh has made another revelation.
ये एक लेख है ब्रह्म चेलानी का, ब्रिजेज ऑफ मिसहैंडलिंग पाकिस्तान, 9 अक्टूबर 2013 का। इस लेख को दोबारा देश पढ़े। करेंट सेक्टर अपना जो है पाकिस्तान के बॉर्डर के साथ, वहां हमारे सैनिकों का आकर गर्दन काट ले गए आतंकवादी सैनिकों के साथ। उन्हीं दिनों हमारे तब के प्रधानमंत्री जी गए हुए थे अमेरिका और उनकी बात तत्कालीन वहां पे जो राष्ट्रपति थे ओबामा साहब, उनसे होनी थी। इस खबर को छुपाई गई, देश को नहीं बताया गया। अतीत में न जाइए।
देश ये जानना चाहता है कि जिन्होंने पहलगाम का वो कर्तव्य किया, माननीय कर्तव्य किया, वो कहाँ हैं? क्या वो पकड़े गए? उनको आप मिट्टी में मिला पाए? पाकिस्तान का इलाज श्रीमती इंदिरा गांधी ने किया था, पाकिस्तान के 2 टुकड़े कर दिए। आप तो अभी बॉर्डर तक पहुंचने भी नहीं दिया हमारी सेनाओं को आपने।
The External Affairs Minister has clarified on Donald Trump's mediation claim again. There may be a ceasefire between India and Pakistan, but shots continue to be fired between the centre and the opposition. Bureau Report, India Today.
And this brings us to our big questions of the day. Have India and Pakistan been re-hyphenated? Has no country backed India in calling out Pakistan's state-sponsored terror? And did the United States truly mediate to bring about a ceasefire after the May 10 operations? Is there merit in the Bharatiya Janata Party saying Rahul Gandhi should be awarded Nishan-e-Pakistan, claiming he's peddling Pakistan's agenda? But the bigger question, can raising questions in a democracy be seen as batting for the enemy? Joining me on India First is Dr. Shama Mohammed, National Spokesperson of the Congress Party. Also with me on this broadcast, Guru Prakash Paswan, National Spokesperson of the Bharatiya Janata Party, and Ambassador Ashok Sajjanhar is a former top diplomat joining us on this show. Guru Prakash Paswan, if I may, the leader of opposition in Lok Sabha is asking the government some very serious questions, sir, about, in his appreciation, re-hyphenation of India with Pakistan. Almost every day he's raising these points. Why is the government not briefing the leader of opposition? And why is the government not responding in general to the questions being raised by the opposition, sir?
Gaurav, I think we have to understand that there are platforms and there are institutions within our democratic setups. One of that institution is Parliamentary Standing Committee on External Affairs. So I completely do not understand when the leader of opposition says that a US intervention was indeed done, when his own party member, a very senior parliamentarian, Mr. Shashi Tharoor, who has served as an Under Secretary General at the United Nations, who has served as an MOS for External Affairs, he is present in this meeting. And in this meeting of Parliamentary Standing Committee on External Affairs, which is being led by Shashi Tharoor, this committee has been briefed by Vikram Misri, who is the Foreign Secretary. And let me read a line for you from this meeting. This line said that the United States was neither involved nor informed about the cessation of firing between the two countries. So I think this question is a done and dusted question. But on the contrary, Gaurav, we must ask the relevant question. The tweet which was done by Nishikant Dubey today, it asks some very important question. In the 1990, when the Rajiv Gandhi supported Chandrasekhar,
sir, I'll come to that in just a moment. I'll come to that, but
it was I'll
come to what Nishikant Dubey said in just a moment. Let's stay on the current issue for a moment. Have India and Pakistan been re-hyphenated? Did the United States intervene? Dr. Shama Mohammed, the Ministry of External Affairs actually clarified that Pakistan was informed only after Sindoor strikes. Now, once they had been carried out, the 9 terror camps had been targeted, only then was Pakistan informed. Does this not once again contradict the Congress claim that Pakistan was pre-informed? And Congress continues to push this narrative despite the official clarification. And before I come to you, let's quickly listen into the Director General of Military Operations, who said when Pakistan was informed and then what followed. Listen in.
Impulsive nature of our adversary, and even though we did attempt to reach out and communicate our compulsions to strike at the heart of terror to my counterpart in the immediate wake of Operation Sindoor, the request was brusquely turned down, with an intimation that a severe response was inevitable and in the offing.
Dr. Shama Mohammed, respond. The government's clarified when Pakistan
Let
was
me respond,
informed
Gaurav. I
and
understood.
Go on.
I understood your
Go on,
question. Now, one thing first, before I go to that, I want to respond to Guru Prakash. He said that Vikram Misri has told Dr. Tharoor in a panel, has Vikram Misri become the Prime Minister of India? Let the Prime Minister then leave. He can sit at home. He doesn't come for all party meet. He doesn't want to brief. Like after 26/11, Manmohan Singh briefed and Advani was sitting in Parliament. After 2001, Parliament attacked. Vajpayee, the Prime Minister from your party, briefed. I mean, everybody did. In 1962, Nehru did it. So let's understand this very clearly. Every Prime Minister holds a special session and briefs the opposition. But this particular Prime Minister does not want to brief, does not want to take part in all party, and he doesn't even want to visit Pahalgam. He doesn't want to even visit the victims. Now, when I want to read exactly what Jaishankar's statement is, at the start of the operation, this is what Jaishankar said, we had sent a message to Pakistan saying, we are striking at the terrorist infrastructure and we're not striking at the military. So the military has the option of standing out and not interfering in this process. First and foremost, he says at the start of the operation. So it's very clear what he has said, that it is before the operation started. Number two, how can he de-hyphenate the army from the terrorist camp? Let us understand one very clear thing. Hafiz Abdul Rauf was standing and leading the prayers when the terrorists were killed by our army, and standing with them is the army. So why do you separate the army from the terrorists? The army, Asim Munir, is a terrorist wearing an army uniform. So I fail to understand why Jaishankar had to differentiate the army from the terrorists, because Asim Munir, according to me, is the terrorist. See, if the terrorists have been killed and there is Hafiz Abdul Rauf was a bounty on his head, standing there leading the prayers, the namaz, and there the army is carrying the coffin. What does it say? That they are behind these attacks. Correct, Gaurav? So my question today to the government is, how dare they de-hyphenate it? You know?
Okay.
And also, when President Trump speaks, he speaks with Pakistan and India equally. How can you hyphenate the perpetrator? That is even what Misri said. It's not me. The perpetrator of the attack with the victim. We are the
Fair
victims,
enough.
not the
You've raised two
perpetrators.
very pertinent points, and I completely agree with you, Dr. Mohammed. There is no distinction between terrorists and Pakistan army. It's a terrorist state. Completely agree. Dr. Paswan, you want to quickly respond before I bring in Ambassador Sajjanar?
No, Gaurav, the fact of the matter remains that the Parliamentary Standing Committee on External Affairs is a very relevant, is a very constitutional
Answer that
institution.
question.
And every political party member is represented. I did not speak, Gaurav. मैंने उनके बीच में नहीं बोला था. Thank you so much. Dr. Shashi Tharoor, who is again a senior member of Parliament, why did he accept it? Why did he accept the observations of Vikram Misri? Is Mr. Shashi Tharoor wrong? Is Mr. Anand Sharma wrong? Who is right? The press conference by Air Marshal Bharti is mistaken. The press conference by Colonel Sofia Qureshi is mistaken. The press conference by DGMO Rajiv Ghai is mistaken. Then who is right? Okay. Is Mr. Pawan Khera in his observation right? Absolutely not. We have to understand, we have to be on the same page. The press conference of the DGMO, the observations of the S. Jaishankar External Affairs Minister is on the same page. And like you said, Gaurav, at the outset of your observation, that the information...
Fair enough. Let me bring in Ambassador Sajjanhar. I want to keep moving, and I want to bring in Ambassador Sajjanhar. If the leader of opposition has some queries, the government should respond to him, whether in public or in private. He's leader of opposition after all. And is there merit in the Congress saying that Pakistan was informed it compromised military operations? One, was it a poor choice of words of the External Affairs Minister? And if I may, has India now been re-hyphenated with Pakistan? Ambassador Sajjanhar, in your diplomatic view.
Yeah, thank you very much, Gaurav. Very pertinent questions. I think the first question has been asked umpteen number of times, and I think been responded to also equal number of times. I don't think that the choice of words is wrong. These are exactly or similar words that were used by DGMO also. And let me also submit it for your consideration and the consideration of your viewers, that if the allegation is that, the terrorists and all were informed, so they would have gone away, how were 100 and 150 terrorists in all these 9 strongholds and hideouts? How are they killed? How are you having this, Masood Azhar crying and saying that, my 10 members of my family, my younger brother who was sort of, responsible for the slitting of throat of Daniel Pearl, etc., etc., that all of them have been killed. It would have been better if I had also died. You see, there was nothing. I think there is, people are trying to read something in an expression which it does not convey and was not meant to convey. The second part of your question, I think a very relevant question again. Has India been hyphenated, re-hyphenated with Pakistan? My own assessment, in my humble opinion, is no. I think there is a difference. As President George W. Bush had said in 2006, 2007, there's a difference of chalk and cheese between India and Pakistan. And over the last 10 years, 15 years, I think India has moved so much farther than Pakistan. As the Director General of the International Monetary Fund says, that, in this very gloomy international economic environment, India is the ray of hope. Today, it is the fourth largest economy. It is going to grow at, within the bandwidth of 6 to 8%, fastest growing major. There is no question of re-hyphenation between India and Pakistan. India is miles ahead, whether it is in military power, it is in military strength, it is in economic strength, it is in terms of its political heft and traction. There is no challenge of the world today that can be resolved without the cooperation and participation of India. So no question of re-hyphenation.
Okay, Dr. Shama Mohammed, you heard what the BJP also said. I mean, they're virtually accusing Rahul Gandhi of speaking Pakistan's language. They're using words to the effect that he's Nishan-e-Pakistan, which is Pakistan's highest national award. My question to you is, this is perhaps the first time that Pakistan has been hit in Pakistan's Punjab. Muridke and Bahawalpur have been hit. And when Pakistan tried to strike Indian military installations, 13 Pakistan Air Force bases and radar stations were targeted from Pakistan-occupied Jammu and Kashmir to Sindh. Such action has never been taken before in the war on terror. Is that not a strong response? Does that not convince the opposition that India is now changed in dealing with Pakistan state-sponsored terror, madam?
Who has said that we are not with the government? Mr. Gandhi has said from the first day itself, we stand with the government, the Congress party, Kharge ji, all stands with the government. Of course, we are very happy with the way the army has replied back. The question we ask also is, when we were ahead in this, demolishing the terrorist camps, there are more than 9, we have killed many militants. The question arises is, why a ceasefire? We should not have gone for a ceasefire. That's the thing. And also, I agree with the ambassador that India cannot be hyphenated with Pakistan, but it is not us who decide. Trump, when he speaks, he says, you know what? I've threatened them both with trade embargoes if they don't come in for a ceasefire. So he is hyphenating us with Pakistan. And let's understand, this is cross-border terrorism. We have been through it, many a times. But from cross-border terrorism, it's gone to Kashmir issue. The question today is, why has it gone to Kashmir issue? That is the question. We want, and also we want proper replies. Now, Mr. Rahul Gandhi writes to the Prime Minister of India, we need an all-party meet. We need a special session of Parliament. The Prime Minister does not even reply. The Prime Minister does not care about the opposition. He does not want to brief. It is not Vikram Misri who's my Prime Minister. And again, I want to reiterate with Paswanji that we stand fully with the army. We agree with whatever the army has said, definitely. But what we are saying is Jai Shankar has said very clearly in his statement that we have warned that we will not hit the military. Now, for me, the military is the terrorist over there. I do not know why Jai Shankar, I'm not saying the army, Jai Shankar, the foreign minister, differentiates terrorist camps from the military. We should have even flattened Robert, because that is the terrorist.
Dr.
Now, with the government of the day. But the Prime Minister of India refuses and tell me one very important thing, Paswanji, where are those 4 terrorists? I want to know where they are. Because let me talk, you
you've directly asked him a question, Guru Prakash Paswan, please respond, sir.
One last point, Gaurav, one last point.
Go on, ma'am.
After 26/11, we had the whole world with us. Here we had the French and the Danish in the beginning. Then nobody was with us. We had an IMF loan of $2.3 billion given to Pakistan. Why did it happen at this point of time? It should have been stopped.
Okay.
Eventually, we had Israel and Taiwan, and then Mr. Jaishankar goes to the Taliban, the Afghanistanis, for what? I mean, I fail to understand. We have lost friends.
Okay, Guru Prakash Paswan wants to
very
respond.
clear.
Ma'am, you've raised several points. You've also raised 2611. We'll come back to 2611 just a moment. But Guru Prakash Paswan, please respond, sir.
No, Gaurav, I have patiently heard all the observations raised by Dr. Mohammed. I fail to understand, Gaurav. There is absolutely no clarity of thought. The leader of the Congress, the president of the Congress party, they are speaking about military intervention, and at the same time, Mallikarjun Kharge goes on record and says, "Ye chitput ladai thi. It's a small war." When 9 established terror establishments were desecrated, when 11 air bases were devastated, when more than 100 of terrorists were neutralized, when the entire family of Masood Azhar was neutralized, and the Congress party has the audacity to suggest ye chitput ladai thi. I absolutely do not understand. They spoke about the 2611. We very well know, we very well understand and appreciate. We are all aware of the observations of Brahma Chelani. And let me read from Brahma Chelani's article in 2013. They are speaking of US intervention. In 2013, our soldiers were beheaded. There were beheadings happening on the border on a daily basis, and all these news, it was censored. Why was it censored? Because Prime Minister Manmohan Singh was visiting United States of America. And let me bring this to the kind attention of your viewers. Speaking of internationalizing the Kashmir issue, who internationalized the Kashmir issue with bringing referendum and the questions of plebiscite after 1947, after 1948? In the 1970 war, which we are all very proud of, the 7th Fleet of the US Army, it was at our doorstep. So let me be very clear and let me be very precise that we have to understand at the times of war, the statements by the Congress party on a consistent basis, right from Mr. Ajay Rai to Mr. Mallikarjun Kharge to Charanjit Singh Channi to Siddharamaiah, they have constantly suggested and demoralized our forces. Gaurav, let me reiterate.
So that's a grave charge you level.
That's a grave charge. Questions. But when the operation when the operation is in action, they are raising the same question. Kitne flight gire bhai? When Air Marshal Bharti is repeatedly
side hai aap
that
bhai?
it
That's
is
a
not our
serious
job.
charge.
Our
Dr.
job is
Shama
not
Mohammed,
to
quickly
get the
respond,
body
but 30
count.
seconds I want to bring in Ambassador Sajjanhar.
Can I reply to him? Can I just reply?
Yes,
Give him 2 replies.
please. Yes.
Can I just reply to him, please? So
Quickly,
he spoke
yes.
about Brahma Chelani. Brahma Chelani clearly says in his multiple tweets, we should not have had the ceasefire. Very clearly says that. And one more thing, after Kargil, when Kargil happened, do you remember Operation Parakram, where we lost nearly 1,000 soldiers standing at the border? Do you have an answer? Where was your spine that time? So don't teach us about spine or don't teach us about all these things. We know what has happened.
We remember Operation Parakram.
Okay, so we know
We
what
remember
happened
Operation
at that point of
Parakram.
time.
Do you
Don't
remember
tell
Sharm el
us.
Sheikh? Do you remember Sharm el Sheikh? You went to the international order. You went to the international community with a begging goal. You went to the international community with a begging goal. Sharm el Sheikh. You went to Sharm el Sheikh with a begging bowl. You went to
I want to
Sharm el
quickly
Sheikh
bring in
with a
Ambassador
begging bowl.
Sajjanhar because I have
This is
very
the
little
stand of
time.
the Congress
I have
party.
very little
Why did you go
time.
to the Sharm el Sheikh?
2611,
I did not
2611.
speak
Okay,
to
only Ambassador
Guru
Sajjanhar
Prakash
for a
Sharm el
moment,
Sheikh with a
because
begging
in
bowl.
the end, I want to tell you about
Guru
my response to all of this. But Ambassador, quickly, Dr. Shama Mohammed spoke of the global support we had post 2611 versus no support now post Operation Sindoor. Respond with facts on ground in your appreciation, sir.
Okay, very quickly, Gaurav, if you permit, 2 comments before that. One is in terms of the ceasefire. Our DGMO had very categorically stated on the 7th morning in his press conference that we have achieved all our military objectives. And so we have told Pakistan that if you do not escalate, we are not going to hit back more. Our objectives had been achieved on the 7th morning. So as far as on the 10th afternoon, when Pakistan was down on its knees and it begged us for ceasefire, we agreed. I don't think there was any purpose because, continuing conflict leads to death and destruction of our own people. One other question, where are the 4 terrorists? Let's look at it. The armed forces are looking for them. It's not that politicians have gone out looking for them. It's the armed forces. The terrain is very treacherous. It's very difficult. I would like to sort of submit for your consideration that 9/11 happened in 2001. When was the perpetrator of that? heinous crime found after 10 years. So, you know, these things are not that an incident takes place today and, you know, within a month or 2 months. Have patience. Operation Sindoor is still on.
Can I come back on that?
As far as you know, the question that you, I think if you look at it, after 22nd April, see how many world leaders they called Prime Minister Modi and they told him, Dr. Jaishankar, they told him that we are with you in terms of providing justice to those who have been affected and giving punishment to the perpetrators. That
Fair enough. 30 seconds, Dr. Shama Mohammed and Guru Prakash Paswan. Dr. Shama Mohammed, 30 seconds, quickly.
No, my thing is he spoke about 9/11. That's the mastermind, Osama bin Laden. The mastermind always, I mean, who released Mazur Asad? When we could have stormed the plane at that point of time in Amritsar, why did they gave the terrorist on the platter? We never released. We got Ajmal Kasab. We got
Who neutralized his family now?
All of them.
Who
so
neutralized his family? I want to ask.
30 seconds. Guru Prakash Paswan, I'm out of time. Quickly, sir. Only Guru Prakash Paswan.
They went to Sharm el-Sheikh. They went to Sharm el-Sheikh with a begging bowl, Gaurav. We all remember after 26/11 when more than 200 Indians were killed, the Congress party had the audacity to go to Sharm el-Sheikh with a begging bowl. We very well remember the fact there were 100 occasions, Gaurav, between 2004 and 2014 to retaliate, to give a counter strike, to give a response. But the Congress party failed to give any strategic or any military response. This shows the courage and the audacity of the Congress party.
Okay, very clearly this operation is still on. Yes, our opposition must ask questions and the government must respond to them. This time, let's keep in mind Operation Sindoor is still on. The government's punished Pakistan and it has. The armed forces, they've not only pulverized 9 terror bases, including the headquarters at Muridke and Jaish-e-Mohammed at Bahawalpur, 9 plus 13 military bases. They've been targeted, including radar stations from Pakistan-occupied Jammu and Kashmir, from Skardu to Sindh, across Pakistan's Punjab. But then a lot more needs to be done because Pakistan repeatedly needs to get that message that terror can never be a low-cost option to bleed India. And we'll be tracking that story. To all my guests, many thanks for joining me.